Good morning, everybody on YouTube. This is Rick Thomas from Obsolete Video Services. Hey, guys. All right. This is the second deck I am working on for my good friend Tony, who brought me all these broadcast decks and dropped them off. And he was a very nice guy bringing all the stuff out to me. And I told him I'd be servicing 2 decks for him out of this big lot that we had. All right, guys. Here is a Betacam SP Uvw-1800. Talk about screwed up. This thing was really screwed up. This thing had a lot of problems. Let's walk you through several things that I just got done doing. First thing is we had to replace the loading carriage. So it had a broken loading carriage where the circuit board was actually shorted out. Wouldn't take a tape. And it was out of alignment as well. But when the circuit boards get all screwed up on them, if you don't have spares, either you have to fix the loading carriage or repair it, or you could swap it out if you happen to have some new ones from other machines that you've kept, like I have. Got to have a lot of parts for these things, guys. I am not kidding you. You really do. It's a real nightmare, the type of parts you got to have for these decks. Anyways, we replaced the loading carriage, which was completely shot. And it just, electronically wise, there's an electronic board on it. And plus, it was jammed as well. I think what happened is somebody tried to jam a tape in here and shorted it out in some manner. These are made very cheap, so they will go awry, or you burn out the motor on the side, or you get the IC chips on this actual loading carriage. There's a board with these mini chips on there. And once you blow those out and all that kind of stuff, it's not worth fixing them. So you should probably have an extra board on hand, swap them, or actual loading carriage on hand to swap them out. I do keep a lot of various different parts. I know everybody knows this. Various different things, and got a lot of cleaning to do. I've got so much crap laying around, it's not even funny. But anyways, we did get this thing serviced. All right. Where do I start? All right, the loading motor had to be rebuilt. The pressure actuator, which pushes up against the capstan roller to engage the capstan motor to drag the tape around, that was faulty. I had to actually change that out. That wasn't moving at all for some various reasons, stuck in place, something like that. I had another one of these on a Uvw-1800 that I stripped out about 6 months ago. So I was able to swap out that actuator, that pressure actuator for the capstan roller. This loading motor was slipping on the actual shaft. I had to go in and fix that and fix the slippage on this thing. So we got that all fixed up. The alignment on the tape alignment inside that aligns your tape as your loading tapes, that was all off. I had to fix that. And the biggest problem is this thing kept eating tapes. It kept throwing the tapes. I had a couple tapes I had in there for test that kept eating them like crazy. All right. There's 2 things that could be when you're working on these units. Either you got bad brakes, which is each motor has a breakage on it, and you have to change those pads out. They get wore out. There is no replacements, so I cut new pads for my own. So anyways, I cut brand new pads for these 2 motors. In general situations, most of the time, that's what the problem was. It's still doing the same thing. So I pulled both motors out, and I was checking them, and this one here has a bad bearing. It's not even engaging. It's in a standby mode. So I had to replace this motor with another one that I happen to have from the same type of machine, Uvw-1800. I had to replace the motor, and this is the take-up motor, the right side that pulls everything through. This motor was not moving. Bad bearing, maybe a shorted out circuit board. God only knows. I don't mess with that detailed crap. If I have actual parts or an actual replacement, I'll swap it out completely, which is what we did in this situation. So we had to replace the right side motor, which was shot. The actuator that puts pressure on your capstan motor for the tape to drag around the machine. The loading motor for the ring, I had to rebuild that grease and align that. That was slipping real bad. I had to replace the loading carriage, which was completely shorted out and jammed. Somebody beat the living the hell out of this deck in the machine room. I mean, God, people, this, you can't be in a hurry. You can't slam tapes into these decks. You're going to destroy these things, which is what they did. Whoever was using this deck just beat the living crap out of it. No common sense. I mean, it drives me crazy the way people treat equipment. It really does. But as you can see, it's unloading and loading now. So, a lot of work goes into these guys. It's not, like I said, it's not a 5-minute fix. It takes time to fix these. When they're really, really bad, you got to really go through them. This particular deck was just faulty all the way around. Everything was wrong on it. Loading carriage, actuator, loading ring motor, alignments. And now a motor drive motor on the right side was completely burnt out or just locked up. God only knows. So I had to go in and replace all the faulty and bad parts, and now we got this Uvw-1800. This is a very nice Betacam SP player. They're cheap. You can get them on eBay. I mean, they're not real expensive, but like I said, guys, you get what you pay for. You'll get one most likely that will not work, or the tapes will be jammed, or you have tons of error codes. I mean, I've had several hundreds of these over the years, and I've never had one that was that I found that you right out of the gate you could put a tape in and it works. It's very uncommon, especially nowadays. If you find them on eBay, they're all garbage. They've been sitting for years, and like I said, you got to go in and you actually got to restore them, rebuild them, and fix all the problems. Well, this goes out to Tony. Tony, we're going to actually have 2 decks for you to pick up. The Uvw-1800 is now operational, and the 3/4 Umatic 9850, which is operational. We have your 2 decks done, so give me a call when you have a chance. Talk to you later.